Roots of the Science podcast with your girl, Anne with an E.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the Root of the Science podcast with your girl, Anne with an E. Amnada Obidike, my guest today, is the founder and the strategy lead for STEMi Makers Africa. However, that was not always the case. 8 years ago, Amanda was unemployed and demotivated. After noticing the importance of introducing STEM opportunities to underserved communities, she used her skills to create a career for herself. That is how STEMi Makers Africa was birthed. Now she works to give those same opportunities to young people across Africa. In this episode, we chat about her journey. We talk about the importance of the organization, including the several projects they have across Africa. Lastly, we also discuss the event being hosted this week as part of the Global Astronomy Month. Do stay tuned. Hi, Amanda.
Hi, Annie. Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm very well. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for coming to the show and taking your time to chat with us. I'm so excited to talk with you and to just get to know more about yourself and everything that you are doing. Okay, so we're just gonna get straight into it. So can you just tell us about yourself, like where you're from, your age, and also just to get like a sort of an icebreaker away from the science. Are you a book reader?
Okay, thank you so much, Annie. I am so glad and honored to be on your podcast series. Yes, so my name is Amnada Obidike and I am from Nigeria. I am 31 years old and I'm currently the strategy lead and director of STEMi Makers Africa, where I design projects in STEM by reaching grassroots communities and equipping young Africans with STEM skills that they can accelerate in their desired field. So, yes, I'm an avid lover of books, but I prefer hard books anyway because I feel it conveys the content better and it also makes me feel emotionally connected to the writer.
Yeah. Oh, so you're not an ebooks fan, hey?
No, and also I love keeping like a physical library. It gives me this joy walking up to your library and seeing like heaps of books well arranged from contemporary to fiction to sci-fi. So I'm just a hard copy person.
No, I completely understand. And thank you, Amanda. Like you said, you are the strategy lead of the organization STEMi Makers Africa. So before we talk about that, I just want us to get to know you more a little bit further. So I want you to explain your educational background. I know you have a master's in data science, an associate degree in social science, and a certification in STEM education from the Open University in the United Kingdom. So one of the questions that I want to ask you is, why did you choose to go study overseas as opposed to studying at home? And then while you answer that, I just want you to take us back to how you actually got into the field of science, the roots of your science from the beginning.
Okay. So, studying abroad it makes us see the world from a different perspective. So I actually had a degree here in Nigeria, but everything was just so theoretical, no excitement. But I felt that I needed more. I needed to have better understanding in what I do, if at all I want to make a difference. And studying abroad actually helped me because I saw the world differently. I saw people differently. And most importantly, I was opened up to variety of resource tools that I didn't have here in my home country, just to make me a better person. So I studied there just to understand culture and also to bring back this set culture in STEM to Nigeria and Africa at large, just to make things better. Then, so my background, I've had tons of education background, whether from associate degree or masters and all. But one thing
Yeah.
that strikes me the most about the root of science is science is a wonderful field that I believe everybody should be part of,
Mm.
whether it's from planetary or from data or from social science, health sciences. It's something that the world needs today. So being rooted in science has actually opened me up to wonderful opportunities that I'm still exploring, and
Mm.
I'm most importantly willing to expose people into, making them aware of how exciting science is and how we should embrace it in Africa.
That's very fascinating. So you talk about how being rooted in science and studying abroad allowed you to be open to a lot of cultures and to open your mind and the way the world works. So
Yeah.
did this then help you? How did this then help you in starting the organization? And also, can you discuss any challenges, if any, um, that you might have faced, from the beginning in terms of starting the organization?
Okay. One disadvantage we have here in West Africa, not just in Nigeria, is
Mm.
we have this leaky unemployment pipeline. What do I
Yeah.
mean? People get to go to school, have wonderful degrees and GPAs, but when they
Hmm.
come out, they don't really get to see the desired job they want. It's either they have to go through this process, and also it's kind of very frustrating. And
Mm.
that's what made me to start STEMi Makers Africa. You'll be surprised that after reading all you needed to do, having like an excellent result, you're coming back and you are not getting the desired job you want.
Yeah.
There's no satisfaction. You get to work 1 year, 2 years, and you feel you're not fulfilled. And yeah, so something happened in 2018. I had to go through a training by the IBM on data science and business
Mm.
intelligence. And I found out that data science is a very wonderful field that people should delve into, not just because of data is everything, but it's because it's an emerging field that people need to depend on. We should depend on data. We are depending on data now. For example, during this pandemic, we want to know the numbers of people that are being
Yeah.
affected. We want to know the number of people that have recovered, etc. So I found out that very few people know about data science or know about STEM. And I
Mm.
said, I need to bring this to the grassroots. I need to ensure that young Africans have these tools. They need to be aware. They need to have this knowledge to shape their future. So that was how I started STEMi Makers Africa. And it was surprising when I found out that a lot of people wanted to be part of it. A lot of people noticed that this gap of unemployment was increasing. And
Mm.
that was how we started the initiative. And I also had to leverage on my existing network. I have kind of a lot of friends all across Africa. So you
Mm.
get to share with them, and they're saying, oh, we have wonderful people that they can recommend to, that they can start this in their country. And that was how we began to expand, even if STEMA is still a baby. But we
Yeah.
wanted to do one thing. We wanted to give Africans a voice to shape their future. So yeah, that's how STEMA started. Then as for the challenges, oh wow, we have government challenges. STEM is still new in Africa,
Mm.
especially in West Africa. So it's a struggle trying to bring this to the government and say, okay, we would like to collaborate with you, we would like your support and all. So they are not really buying this. So we find out that we have to say extra, or we have to show our impact report on what we have done so far, just to ensure that we get the support we need from them. So
Mm.
that's one of the challenges in some part of the countries that we operate. But we believe that with time, they will begin to understand and they will begin to embrace the initiative in the communities that we operate in.
Wow. No, you're right about how STEM is still well, I don't want to say a new field, but I think the work around it is still relatively new, and I think a lot of people don't understand how we can capitalize it and help the grassroots people to get more involved into STEM. And you mentioned that you had a number of challenges from the government. However,
Yeah.
from the website, the STEMi Makers website, I noted that you have 13. You've got connections in 13 African countries, and one of the some of the things that you offer is you offer online courses and mentorship. Can you just highlight some of the projects that you're part of and some of your partners? And also, you mentioned earlier that this this helped because you have a lot of networks all across Africa. So it seems like you're a very well connected woman. So this was obviously an advantage, right? To get yourselves in all of these different countries.
Yeah. So, okay, first things first, we are now in 18 countries. So
Wow.
we are increasing by the day. Yeah, that's a
Congratulations.
good one. Thank you. Thank you. But, amidst all this, we've been able to design over 6 initiatives in
Yeah.
STEMi Makers Africa because different countries or communities have different kinds of needs.
Of
So,
course.
yeah, so for example, we have one that we want to begin in May
Uh-huh.
in Malawi,
Oh,
where,
okay.
and I'm really excited. Yeah, and I'm really excited about it. It's called Project Kongoza.
Okay.
Kongoza means to lead in Swahili language, and
Okay.
we are actually focused on addressing the gender divide in STEM. So it's an EdTech interactive platform that provides technology resources and promotes social personal development by offering lucrative skills, opportunities while delivering value of women talents to pool of partner organizations who would like to hire or empower women. So it's a way of encouraging more participation of women in the labor market, especially in STEM. Yeah,
Okay.
so we have the Campus Ambassador Program for young Africans. We have mentorship. This mentorship is for secondary school girls. We
Mm-hmm.
are affiliated with the International Visitors Leadership Program (IVLP), and
Uh-huh.
we have STEM integration for educators, where we want to cultivate a STEM workforce,
What
and
does that
give
mean?
them,
Sorry, can you just explain that?
yeah. Okay, STEM integration for educators is focused on train the trainer, where we
Okay.
pick 2 to 3 people in schools, train them with STEM, train them, show them how to use wonderful and new tools that can stimulate learning, a way of taking them from practical teaching
Uh-huh.
to, no, sorry, theoretical teaching to
Teaching.
practical teaching. Yeah, so
Okay.
it's we're doing that to cultivate a STEM workforce, and right now we have over 800 educators that have been
Wow.
trained and are also training their fellow colleagues.
Is this in different
Then,
parts of Africa? I'm sorry. Sorry to
yeah,
cut you.
yeah. Okay,
Is
for
this
for
in
for
different parts
now,
in Africa?
yeah, for now we have managed to scale this in 3 countries, but we want to do more. We want to do more. It's just that it requires having the right facilitators that can train these people in their different countries. We wanted to do one this month, but due to the pandemic, we
Yeah.
had to halt it. Yeah, so yeah, and we have the STEMI women's community. It's
Uh-huh.
we get to offer career development talk, and we bring trailblazing women in STEM to talk to young girls. So yeah, that's just one of too many initiatives we
Wow.
have. Yeah. Then
It's a
as for
lot.
our part, Oh, it's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah, but truth be told, we would like to still set up more structure, so that
Yeah.
it wouldn't be overwhelming for me or for my team, the team that
Yeah.
we work with. We want to still bring in more people on board, where they get to do this, independently. They just get to be trained and also carry this in out in their various communities.
Mm.
But yeah, as for our partners, we have actually been we've actually been graced to get support from organizations at the local level and the international level. We
Yeah.
have partners like the IBM. We have the International Technology and Engineering Educators Association in the USA. We also
Wow.
have the US Consulate General here in Nigeria, the consulate, and the World Economic Forum. So
Wow.
yeah, those are just one of
How
yeah, the
how did you get into those? Those are big players. And you started this in 2018. Wow.
yeah, the truth is there's a connecting point.
Mm.
The connecting point is the willingness to invest in young talent. These
Yeah.
organizations are willing to invest in Africa, and most of all, they understand what STEM means. So
Mm.
when we get partner organizations, they see us as a body of champion that can help them translate this movement. So we are the body, they just invest in us, and we just go to the grassroots or go to particular beneficiaries and get to offer what we want to do. And they're always happy to collaborate and offer the support we need. So yeah, and they are willing to help, they are willing to cascade whatever initiative that we have set up already.
Wow. No, I'm a little bit taken back in terms of everything that you're doing. And but I like how you
Oh,
said that you have a team, and this sounds like it cannot you would have not been able to do that without a team of people, because this sounds like it's a big take it's a big undertaking. I mean, you're doing so many amazing things. Like you said, in Malawi, that's where I'm from. I'm going to ask you on the side more about that. Um, but
oh,
I just,
oh.
yeah, I commend you on everything that you're doing. And speaking of everything that you're doing, you have an event coming up this week. Um,
Yes.
you have an exciting event called the Global, which is part of the Global Astronomy Month series, and that's happening this Thursday and Saturday. So just please tell us more about it and what you aim to do from this event and why this event is happening, and also um, all the amazing people, because I know just by what you're saying right now, there's going to be so many exciting people. So I think, guys, whoever's listening, I think you really want to be a part of this. So yeah, please just tell us more about it.
Oh, yes. Trust me, we are so excited. We we have over 80 people that have signed
Wow.
up, and they've even extended to the Middle East. We find out that they were from the Middle East, from Europe, from America, apart from Africa.
Wow.
So it's an e-converging of Black scientists who
Mm.
are passionate to share opportunities that young Africans can embrace in science. Science is a broad and exciting field, and
Definitely.
we're using this Global Astronomy Month as a medium to inspire and share wonderful opportunities that Africans can begin to harness.
Mm.
So for example, we'll be having Dr. Brenda Namumba. She's the first person in Zambia to have a PhD in astrophysics. She's
Wow.
so excited to share her
Is it both
story.
male and female?
Yes,
Hey.
yes. And she wants to
Wow.
help young people accelerate in their STEM pathway. We have Ashley Walker. She's a
Yeah.
planetary scientist who studied early planet formation and planetary atmosphere during her internship at Harvard University and John Hopkins.
Mm.
She's actually still studying planetary atmosphere this summer at the NASA Goddard Space Flight Center in the US. We'll be having Damilola Oladeji. She's a national point of contact for the Space Generation Advisory Council. And we will also be having Dr. Tana Joseph.
Mm.
She's an amazing South African astronomer. She studies binary star systems containing black holes and neutron
Wow.
stars in galaxies outside our Milky Way using telescopes in space and on the ground. So we have this wonderful line of speakers who
Mm.
are excited and they are anticipating, to interact with these young people, give them a sign of hope, give them a sign of direction, as they begin to bridge this, arrange themselves to bridge Africa. Yes.
That's exciting. So you said that people have to register online. Hey.
Yes, yes. It's a way of ordinarily they can always just come up on Twitter, on Facebook Live, but it's a way of getting their data so that
Uh-huh.
we would follow up on them, share future opportunities with them, share insights. It's just a way of
Yeah.
having this data to help us in our next line of action. Yes.
Hmm. And it's free, of course.
Yes, it's absolutely free. It's free.
So even more reason for young people, and I think even people who are not in science, I think it would be a great learning opportunity as well, right?
Very true. It's open for all. Like I
Yeah.
said earlier, science is something that everybody should have an idea of. Science
Mm.
is what shapes the world. Science is what we are doing today, and all. Science is everything. So we want people from different backgrounds,
Yeah.
different career pathways, to be part of it.
That's exciting, and I can't wait to see what all of your lovely guests have to offer. So, like I said, so
Yeah.
apart from this event that's going on this week and others that you mentioned earlier, and of course the some others that you haven't mentioned, why do you think it's important to have such events? And how can we then start using those events? How can we then start to change the narrative surrounding African contributions to global STEM research and the careers at large?
Okay, yes, first of all, our speakers, apart from them being professionals, they have wonderful stories to tell. Most
Mm.
of them grew up here in Africa,
Yeah.
and why we do that is we want our audience to understand that you can be just like Dr. Brenda, for example, you can be like
Mm.
Dr. Chana, you can be like Ashley, where they got to come out from Africa or they came out from underserved communities and they excelled. So why
Yeah.
we're doing this is we want to give them hope. It's a message of hope. That's just the truth of what we want to amplify. We want
Yeah.
people to know that irrespective of what they are doing now or where they
Mm.
see themselves, they can begin to create a pathway in science and technology. Science and technology, for example, has come to stay. It's not going anywhere. So
Mm.
we want to make sure that we're bridging this divide, we're preparing these young people so that they can begin to take wonderful career pathways in STEM. And science is all about continuous research.
Mm.
Yeah, our speakers will not just be talking about astronomy or astrophysics and all. They will be talking about different angles and different career pathways that they can embrace. For example, Dr. Tana has like a pool of resource tools that she wants to share with them, ranging from scholarship opportunities,
Oh wow.
exchange programs. Yes. conferences that they can get to access, and also communities that ordinarily they need to pay, but they can have access to. So these are things that we want to bring to the feet of young Africans so that they can, upskill themselves. They can be better people, not just for Africa, but for their local communities.
Mm. Yeah, that's fantastic. It's really
Mm.
it's there's something about seeing somebody whose story you can relate with, and then seeing
Yeah.
how far they've gone. It's really has got a lasting impact, and I love what you're trying to say, that you're trying to give people hope, because in such tough times, it's really nice to see that, okay, you know what, that could be me one day. I could be Amanda. I could be
Yeah.
Dr. Tana. I could be so and so, and I think that's why initiatives like yours and the events that you're doing are so important, especially like you say, to have African faces, and you guys are conquering the world, because I'm sure that some of these people,
Yeah.
they've studied in different parts of the world. So it's just telling us that you don't have to be concentrated in the one area that you are in. There's so much out there.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
with regards to that, I just, in the last question, I just wanted to ask you, what advice would you give aspiring Africans um, about getting into STEM, and specifically if somebody wants to do something like what you're doing later on in life, or who might be, um, you know, who might not be like young, but even if they are in their 20s or in their 30s, who wants to do what you're doing, because I think there's room for so many more initiatives like yours in Africa.
Yes. So we advise people to
Mm.
a mentor, get yourself a mentor, get
Yeah.
someone that you can shadow shadow look at, where you get to see how they do things, follow them on social media, for example, read about their work, get to know them, even if it's virtually, because from there you are getting the experience that you need. You don't get to see all these things in the book, but you get to
Mm.
see this in people's actions and their daily lives. So one way or the other, mentorship plays a great role as someone who wants to accelerate or delve into STEM fields. It really helps a lot. Then another thing is be open to learning.
Yeah.
Explore, do a lot of research. Get your facts right, get your understanding aligned. Just to make sure that you have this direction and you know what you're doing. Because once that happens, even if distraction comes your way, you'll still be headlong and believe that I still know what I'm doing. I'm still passionate about this. So one
Mm.
thing is mentorship. Second is open to learning, be open to collaboration.
Yeah.
And thirdly, I tell people in our STEMI women's community, please don't be afraid to create. Don't be afraid to excel. I tell them, be free to excel, be free to think, be free to
Mm.
succeed, because you don't, the world doesn't give you what you want. You go get what you want from the world. So
Mm.
that's the advice I give to people. And trust me, if you put one or two things of what I've just said, you find out that you begin to accelerate, you begin to amplify your voice in whatever STEM field that you want to find yourself.
Wow, that is amazing advice. Don't be afraid. Yeah,
Yeah.
be free to excel. I love that, and I think it's important to say that, especially to women. I don't want to make it a women's thing, but I think us women, we we always get scared to be really good at something. Sometimes because we are told that we have to be a little bit meek, and so I think that's very important, for us to actually be amazing, and
Yeah.
to do all these amazing things. I think that
Yeah.
that's very important, because sometimes if we think that you are excellent, somebody would be like, ah, this person is cocky, or they're not humble or whatever. But I mean, of course, humility ties in, but I think we must be free to excel. That is such an important message. I love that. And I'm
Thank
going to
you.
take that as well.
Yes, thank you so much, Annie. I really do appreciate this.
No, thank you. This was lovely chatting with you. And again, just a reminder to everybody that of the event that's happening on Thursday and Saturday. Do sign up. I'll put in their information. And yeah, hopefully you can learn something. Again, thank you so much, Amanda. You were amazing. And I wish you and your initiative nothing but the best for the future.
Yes, thank you so much, Annie. Thank you so much. I am so grateful for the Roots of the Science podcast for being on this show. We are together as women, and
Yes.
we should grow each other. So I really do appreciate the platform, and we're also hoping that Roots of the Science get to increase on all sides, both in South Africa and even
Thank
extend
you.
beyond the borders of Africa.
Yeah, that's my
Yes.
hope as well. So yeah, like you said, I'm ready and excited to excel. But with
Yeah.
everybody who's listening, thank you so much for listening to the Root of the Science podcast with your girl and with an E. Until next time, bye.